to park the aircraft, perhaps for the season.
A small aircraft goes down in the middle of a town. We have the latest on this devastating crash.
Why did a mother go back?
A small aircraft goes down in the middle of a town. We have the latest on this devastating crash.
Why did a mother go back into the burning home and save her 3 children? The latest as the family searches for answers.
Plus, high school wrestlers groped. A strange man just walks into their school locker room. Now they need your help finding him. Fox 8 News at 10 starts now.
Terror in the skies over northeast Ohio as a homemade helicopter crashes in the middle of a community. 2 people are dead tonight as investigators piece together exactly what happened. When the chopper went down, it also left an entire town in the dark.
Fox 8 News reporter Suzanne Stratford is live at Studio 8 Summit Mall with the details on this story. Suzanne?
Yeah, hi Bill and Stacy. It's actually called a gyrocopter. It is homemade. It was light, it was aerodynamic, and it was being flown by its creator. He was getting ready to park the aircraft, perhaps for the season, when he suddenly hit something and he lost control. Friday afternoon, cold and clear skies over Stark County, when suddenly an aircraft found itself in distress.
Wilmot Unit 1, Red Center.
Go ahead.
Helicopter crash, Cosmos parking lot on State Street in the village.
Made a very loud noise right low over our house. I didn't know what it was.
Neighbors soon saw the horror as this ultralight helicopter flying low clipped an electrical guide wire.
And then I looked, and just all at once I saw it in a real sharp dive, and the engine was going roar, and all I saw was one helmet, and it went out of sight, but they were going so fast that I knew they were in trouble.
Neither the helicopter or 2 men on board had a chance. As quickly as the chopper had taken off, it was driven straight down. Witnesses and rescue crews tried in vain to help.
I thought maybe they were in trouble.
2 individuals were fatally wounded.
While crews tried to free the victims, the entire town of Wilmot was in the dark. 200 homes and businesses lost power in the accident. It would take several hours to restore.
The intention of the operator was to land in the nearby school, which is just in the background here. He was doing a flyby just to check the area, at which time he had evidently inadvertently struck the power line, forcing him to lose control.
The Ohio State Highway Patrol Canton Post has the grim task of clearing the wreckage and the very sad duty of notifying the families of the 2 local men who perished on such an otherwise lovely day.
His intention was to land here and then go ahead and store it in his garage.
And Bill and Stacy, we do now have the names of the victims. 41-year-old Arthur Close, he was the pilot. He was preparing to land that plane. He was very close to his very own home. His passenger, 32-year-old Matthew G. fell, again flying with him when the tragic accident happened. The FAA is investigating, and they will be on the scene tomorrow morning.
This was just a last ride, and I'll just take it over a couple blocks, land it, put it away, and then let's go do something else, go be with the family.
Exactly. They were even being careful. They wanted to do a flyby, make sure everything was clear, make sure they were safe. And that's when they struck the power line.
All right. Thank you, Suzanne. And another story, a young mother of 3 rescues her children.
A 15-year-old girl.
Remember.
The Lakefront 60, Ashtabula 54, Wellington in southern Lorain County at 48, Akron Canton 41, Richmond Heights out at the Cuyahoga County Airport 37 was the peak wind gust. All right, we'll take a look at the current wind gust now. 39 at the Lakefront, 37 the peak wind gust at Hopkins, 30 Akron Canton. Like Dick mentioned, the winds, as we take a look at the next map, will be subsiding overnight tonight. It will still be brisk, but we won't have those 40 and 50 mile per hour gusts. By tomorrow, high pressure moves back in. Another system to the south could produce high winds again by the end of the week, and another one late Sunday into into Monday of next week could affect snow events. We'll have to keep an eye on that. A quick note now, 20,000 homes are still without power in Cleveland, about 1,000 out in Akron. Power should be back up by early tomorrow morning, from what they tell us.
Remember, huh?
You bet.
All right, thanks, Scott. We'll
Sure.
check back in with you a little bit later.
Tonight, family and friends remembered a very popular Loudonville man with a love of flying. Last Friday, he and a passenger were killed as he tried to land a homemade gyrocopter. Fox 8 News reporter Angel Ringo brings us his story. Angel.
Well, earlier in the week, family members say Arthur Close was a very happy man. He was gearing up to start a dream job, working as a test pilot for a company that built gyrocopters, his passion for more than 20 years. But that dream ended Friday. Now family and friends are remembering Arthur Close as they try to understand why it happened. Like most small towns, Loudonville is a place where folks say everybody knows everybody. And it seemed everyone loved Arthur Close, especially here at Beano's. It's a place where friends say Close enjoyed honing his wicked skills on the pool table and hanging out with longtime friends who simply adored him.
Everybody wanted to be around Art. To know Art was to know a smile. He had $1 million smile. He could light up a room with a smile. And everybody he was just one of those guys that everybody gravitated to.
But for Close, there on the left, his love for pool hardly compared to his love of flying. He built his first gyrocopter like this one while still in high school.
He must have been born with it because that's all he could wait to do.
On December 3rd, Arthur Close took to the air as he'd done so many times before. He was circling for a final descent into a Wilmot ball field when he clipped a power line and crashed to the ground, killing himself and passenger Matthew Gaffel.
This was an accident caused by a mistaken judgment, maybe 4 to 6 inches.
Close had more than 1,000 flying hours to his credit and owned 4 gyrocopters. Family members say he was one of the best pilots of the aircraft in the country, which makes the accident that much harder to take. Childhood friend and pilot Lynn Fry says Close lived life to the fullest and says the accident could have happened to anyone.
How many hours have you driven a car? But you could be driving down the road and that'd be the end of it. It's the same thing. He just flew and just made an error.
I can't understand why it happened, but it doesn't make any difference. It happened. It's over. And he's not hurting, but boy, there's a bunch of people that are.
Meanwhile, back at his favorite watering hole, a pool stick now hangs in Close's honor. It hangs just below a picture of his son he taught to play in a place that friends say they'll always consider Art's home.
The people around here will, he's gone, but he'll never be forgotten.
You know, they say you leave a big footprint in life. Art left one of the biggest footprints. Everybody knew him. Everybody loved him.
Arthur Close leaves behind a 14-year-old son. Now, this Thursday evening, Beano's plans to host a pool tournament at 7:30 with all the proceeds going to the Cody Close Educational Endowment.
Well, obviously, he left behind a lot of loving friends.
He really did.
Yeah. Angel, thanks.
I'm floating in the blimp a lot. I feel the feeling I forgot. Or swimming weightless in the wound, or bouncing gently round the room. In a minute I'll be free, and you'll be splashing in the sea. I feel I see the path ahead of me. In a minute I'll be free, and you'll be splashing in the sea. We'll hear a tiny cry as the ship goes sliding